Hi everybody, welcome back to RC Fourbieman for the next part of the Weathering the Body series. Really looking forward to this. I've been sort of like watching the process that Matt from Lighthouse RC has done so far, and wow, I just didn't realise there was that much preparation and things. So we're up here on the Sunshine Coast now. We're going to go through the second stage, which is the weathering side of things, and I just cannot wait to see how this thing's going to turn out. So, all right, we're going to fire it up. Sit back, grab yourself a drink, get yourself somewhere comfy, and check out something that I think is going to just turn out to be unbelievable. Let's go. Welcome back. Here we are up here now with Matt from Lighthouse RC, and we're getting to the next stage of the weathering of the body. Now, if you have a look in the previous episode, you would have seen with all the preparation that went into getting this body ready for this stage here, and there was quite a lot, and I learned a fair bit. So we're going to hand over to Matt now with this for the next whole process that's going to go through, and I'm really looking forward to this, Matt. So okay, I'm going to hand it over to you, buddy. Yep. So is there a certain process that you have to follow? Is there things that you can do later, or is there a certain process that has to happen with what you've done so far?
With this, as Bruce mentioned, so we've done the paint now. So it has had over 24 hours curing time, and as I did mention to Bruce, to leave it under heat lamps to let it really set, because when we go to sand this, we want to sand it. We don't want to get balls of paint and just scrape the paint off. Now you'll notice that we've still got the window masks on, front, inside, outside. So they're pretty much one of the last things that we'll take off is the masking, because the reason is once we've weathered it and we've highlighted it and we've detailed it, then we're going to put the flat clear over the top of it, and then we'll pull the masks off, because the last thing you want to do is pull them off, put a flat clear, and then all your windows go foggy and it just doesn't look right.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So again, as I mentioned in the previous episode, so we're going back to, we've got the body, we're going back to our, our influence. So as you can see, I'll hold it up to the camera there. So we've got that photo there, and we've also got this photo here as well. Yeah. So bringing that up, so the same car, two different angles, and then if you have a look as we go back through, you can see where, holding it up closer, you can see where the rust is sitting. So you can see where the panels that have been affected, the panels that haven't been affected. All that kind of stuff. So again, we're having a look at those. The cool thing is, no right or wrong way to do this.
No.
You're really coming down to...
Everyone's car rusts differently anyway.
Exactly, so, and obviously if you live on the coast, you're going to be, there's a lot more salt, so therefore you're going to find a lot more rust in areas. If you live in the dry outback, it's going to be where the water just pools and what's most exposed to the sun as it melts through the clear coat and fades the paint. So, so what we're going to need for the weathering process, to start with, just for the initial rub back, is you're going to need just a little container of water. So just a little jug, no specific volume. There's nothing in the water. There's nothing. It's just tap water. Just tap water. And then if you grab some wet and dry. Now you want two different types, because again we're sanding, and when you don't want to go just a rough sandpaper, you want to go. And the reason for wet and dry is as the wet and dry wears down, it becomes less. It becomes less gritty, so therefore you're going from a rough sand into a smoother sand.
Yep.
And so the more weathered your sandpaper gets, the more natural effect you're going to get. In this particular instance, we're using two different grits. So I have got 600 grit, and I have got 1200. For those of you who aren't familiar with sanding, the lower the number, the more coarse,
and more aggressive,
the more coarse and aggressive the sandpaper is going to be. So what the numbers are, it replicates how many grains of whatever they've used per whatever size. Yeah. So the higher the number, the more fine the sandpaper is going to be. So yeah, I definitely 600 1200 is a good combo. 600 it's still very smooth in comparison, but again, because this is a Lexan body and we've got all these moldings, so like for the bonnet and like the ribs here across the roof, you don't want to sand them out. And you've also got some very, as we talked about in the previous episode, if you can see that depending on the light, there is you can just see here there is a very faint grill, and because we put so much paint on it,
it's reduced the visibility.
It's reduced the visibility, and you want to make sure that through this process, you want to rub the paint back to bring the detail back.
Yep.
And then with the, I guess, adding like your accents, which we'll do later on.
And that'd be like any highlights, like on the roof and the bonnet. That would be the same process as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So
not being too aggressive.
Yep.
Which would be the reason if you had too aggressive sandpaper, you just rip it off all in one hit. And
that's it. And then you'll be ripping it straight back to clear Lexan, or in this case, it'll be the coats that we've done underneath. And that's the reason we've painted under, like the inside as well as the outside. If you do, once you rub back to your underneath colors, you then want to make sure, like, it's going to be hard to know where to stop and where to not, but once you get to that copper color, you know you're pretty much at the bottom of your paint levels. So
like an indication.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is so we've had a look on the body, and now when I do the weathering process, I'll start usually in a corner. So I'll start the front corners or the back corner, and then I'll work my way around, because you don't want to just rub a bit here, rub a bit there, rub a bit here, and it looks too either orchestrated, or you've just kind of, it's, you don't want big patches of rust. You want the subtle fades and
just to blend.
Just to blend it in,
like a normal one would rust.
That's it. And and obviously depending on the extent of the rust that you're adding to the body, you don't want to rub a whole guard all the way back, right back to the rust color, because when you want to have like bits of color through it, bits of fade, bits of the copper, bits of the silver, bits of the green, all coming through, so that when we go and add the accents before we put the clear coat on, it really helps bring them to life. It really helps make them pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some 600. Do you want to stop it there?
Yep. All right. We'll get organised here and be straight back.
Cool. All right, guys. So we're about to start the sanding process. So we've got the jug of water, as I mentioned. Now we're putting, being wet and dry. For those who haven't used it, yes, you can submerge your sandpaper. So you just cut off squares, probably, I don't know, 10 centimeters kind of thing, and literally just submerge it under the water. It is wet and dry. It doesn't break down. That's the style. So we're going to start with the 600, and then we're going to start with the, as I mentioned, with the corners. So we're going to start in the front, being a Australian 4-wheel drive. It's going to be the front passenger side. So we're going to start here, and we're going to just work on the guard, and then we're going to work our way around to the edge of the panel. Then we're going to get to the door, then work our way across the back. Keeping in mind, you don't have to go too crazy across the back, because you will have like the tray and stuff sitting at the back, so you're really only going to see just around the window. And then as you can see here too, you've got this line here to cut out potentially if you need to, and that's designed for your battery tray. And then we're going to work our way back around the front, and then we're going to start at the front, and then we're going to go across the bonnet, up across the roof, and then kind of, and then as we get to that point, we're going to bring it all back. So we're going to start, as I said, with the 600. Again, no real technique to this, but you don't want to go too hard too quick. You just kind of
you want to see how it goes.
That's it
before you go.
So we're going to
this is going to be really cool.
So again, because as you drive, and this is my thought process behind it, as you drive, the front of the car, so the front of the guards here, the bonnet, the grille area, and along the front here is what's going to get a lot of the most rocks, sticks, road debris, insects, and all that kind of stuff. So you can go pretty cool with that. So as you can see, like even after a couple of rubs, we're getting paint on here, but we're not. And this is the 600. This is not the 1200. So
that's the little bit rougher one.
So this is the rougher one. So as you can see, we're all right. So just that tiny little bit of rub. If you can see there, you can now start to see the silver, and then your first coat coming through. So you don't really want to go too much harder than that. I'll show you, Bruce, so you can start to see how it's changing.
Look at that.
And so we go from there. Obviously, too, on your corners and in your rounded parts of the panel, you're going to take it off a lot quicker than you will on the flat surface area. So you really need to be cautious of, like the faces that you're doing. So again, we'll start rubbing this back.
So the pressure you do, for example, on those edges would be less than what you would do on a larger surface.
Yeah, a lot less. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just want to kind of rub it back as you get to the top here. As you can see, it's taking a lot more rubbing to get through. We're getting a lot more green paint, but we're still not quite getting through to the silver. So but you can see on the corner bits, yes, it's coming off a lot quicker.
Yep.
So you just want to kind of just sit there and just work it a bit, and
you can see that effect already starting.
Yeah, so you can start to see now you've taken, because it's a semi-gloss that you get from your polycarb paints out of the can, and then when you spray from the back you get the full gloss. You can start to see now that you're getting like a real dull matte look, compared to, so if hold it up for the people at home, so you can start to see, like, you can see the light sheen on the bonnet, but then when you look at you look at the front guard, you can see that it's already taking it right back. Yep. So what we'll do is I'll pause the I'm going to pause this video now. I'm going to do some more sanding on the guard, and then we'll be back with you, and you can see the first part of the process.
Okay, be right back.
Right, cool. So we've done the front guard, and we've done a little bit on the quarter panel. So I'll hold it up so everyone can see. Now, like, just again, there's no right or wrong way. So I've really gone onto the leading edge of your guards, the front leading edge there as well, and made sure too, because they normally do crease and rust right on the joints of the panels. So yeah, so definitely got right in there and had a look. So you can start to see now that by looking at it, and yes, obviously these are very bland colors. So it's a predominant copper, it's a predominant silver, and it's a predominant green. But what we're going to do is that's the weathering effect that comes after the initial rub back. So, all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go onto the door, and I'm going to blend that, because again, you don't want to go too heavy. And the thing is, when it starts to come away and you start to see it transform and weather, you think this is really cool. It's very, very easy to keep going and over rub it. And then you've got a lot more weathering to do to make it look real and just make it look right. So, all right, so I'll go onto the door, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Done deal.
Done.
While Matt's working diligently away here on the weathering of the body, I thought I'd take the opportunity to say, how's all going? I hope you're all travelling okay, and you know my usual spiel, because it's that important, I'm going to say it again. Don't forget to reach out if you're having a bit of a struggle. Don't forget to look out for your friends and your family. All it takes is just a simple question, are you doing okay? And as I've said before, sometimes that can mean the world to somebody. It really, really can. And it's important that everyone looks after each other, and especially in today's world, it's just a really stressful time right now with so many things. So, once again, just make sure that if you're not doing okay, make sure you sing out. Sing out to one of your friends, sing out to one of your family members. If your kids are old enough, sing out to your kids. Sit down and have a chat. If you're concerned about, or you're worried about talking to someone who knows you and you're a bit, I don't know, you might be feeling embarrassed, that's what these other organisations are all for too. It's a case where every opportunity that you need to contact someone to get a bit of help is there for you. All you got to do is sing out, and that's the most important thing, is singing out. All right, I'm going to get back to watching a bit more here, but just remember, if you're struggling, sing out. You got loads of people that if they knew that you were doing trouble, you'd probably find that they'd be there for you. So that's most important. And this body, it's coming together great. So Matt's just ducked off to get a towel to give it a dry before the next phase, but just have a look at what he's produced there. Up to that stage there, and that is just unreal. And we're not even done yet. That's magic. He's done a fantastic job. I can't wait to see how this goes.
Alrighty, so we've done the rub back. So this is it here. So you can see, like, it already looks really, really cool. And so we've done around the door trims, the seals, the high spots again, where we're not going for full blown rust everywhere, like full panels. It's just coming through the paint. and just working all the way around.
Just really well weathered.
Yep, well weathered.
Yeah, and you're right in what you're saying there with those little grills and the one that's on the top there. You can really.
So now you can start to see it that we've rubbed it back, and that's why you want to make sure you definitely hit those again once you've painted over them, and that just shows you how much paint is actually on this body. And yeah, this green color, this green paint has gone on thick. It was a lot thicker than the blue one I did, so it was a bit more rubbing back. But yeah, so we've done all that now. So what we're going to do is we've dried the body off. We've got our weathering kit, or the weathering master, as Tamir calls it. So this is the number C. So you've got orange rust, you've got like a gun metal, and then the third one's a silver. So the first thing we're going to do is I used the orange rust first to do the whole body. Then I used the gun metal to put depth into spots. I didn't use the silver at all. The little brush that it comes with is very much like a woman's makeup brush. So there's definitely nothing wrong walking into Big W, Kmart or Target and walking out with a couple of packs of these. You know, you can hold your head high and you can just be like, yep, got some work to do when I get home, and just let them interpret that. So
for the missus.
For the missus, of course, yes, not for Friday night happy hour.
No.
So what we're going to do is we'll start. What we'll do is I'll get this all set up and get the table all wiped down nice and clean. Then we'll come back with you shortly, and we'll put the camera on what I'm actually weathering, so you can see how I apply it, spread it, and maneuver it, and we'll go from there.
Excellent.
All right, cool. So now we're all set up. Now what we're going to do is, like I did with the rub back, start in the same corner that I rubbed back and work around, because you want to use this weathering effect to show where the water has run. So you want to show, you want to tell the story of how the rust came about. Like, it's not like you can just pack it in there and cover it all up and everything like that and spray it, and sure, it's going to look cool. What defines the good jobs from the great jobs is when everything that you do to weather the body tells the story of how it got to where it is. So all you need to do is just very lightly rub it, and as you can see, you can start to see there on the camera that it is coming up. So, and there's not a lot on this brush, it's just a little tip. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I'll do the front little bits, but what we're going to do is we're going to start to kind of almost color in, as you can see there now. So we're starting to color in the silver, and the copper, because it's a darker brown, is going to it's going to pop. So you don't need to really cake your brush in, you don't need a lot of pressure, but you just simply just sit there and you just I'll let Bruce work the camera here so that you can kind of see, and you can go over your actual like stuff that you haven't sanded, and that will put the rust effect. Now you want to apply it in dabs, because you know, like rust being kind of like it's a chemical reaction, so it's like a bacteria, so it slowly spreads out and through and in. So you don't want to do big long strokes, you want to just do little dabs. And again, this is another lengthy process, so it's not something that you may want to try and do in all one sitting, but we're working our way around and just adding little bits of color to the silver, which kind of gives it that really rusty brown look. So so you can see here now where I've rusted over the top. Again, it looks like you're kind of just starting to undo everything you've just sanded back to give you those the color differences. But when you add your clear coat to it, and when you again further down the weathering fact, it does all really come alive. So again, we're just working. So I just purely color the silver bits because that gives it the yellow, that gives it the brown, and then when you want to tell the story of how it came about to being that where the waters run, you kind of like an S, you kind of just zigzag link it all together. So we're going to just dabs, and again, you don't want the same amount of color on every little piece. So you know, now that we've got that corner in, you can start to see that the silver now, it's really starting to look rusty, and it's really starting to come to come alive. But again, once you put the clear coat on it, the clear coat is going to take out a lot of that yellow and a lot of the stain and the shadow that you've created, and it's just going to leave the thicker colors. So that's why you want to have a nice generous coat of the rusty orange to start with, and then again, because you're kind of working back to front, but from the outside. So you're kind of working, so now we're putting the rust down like we did with the paint job. So you put your rust color, then you put your silver color, then you put your green color. So we're going to put the rust color down first. We're going to use the gunmetal to give it the black thickness. Then it's going to really pop and be very vibrant. Then when we put the flat on it, it's going to blanket the whole thing, dull it down, and it's just going to look right. So cool. So if you're doing this with me as a step-by-step, I'm just going to stop the video here now, and I'm going to work through just this part of the car and give you and we'll color it all in, and then I'll give you another quick video and show you it all colored and affected. And then what we'll do is I'll show you how to create how it looks like where the water has flowed. All right, so we'll be back with you in a second. So grab your brush and let's get to weathering. All right, cool. So we're still going through the front quarter panel, which is the front passenger side for the Australian drivers, front driver side for the US guys. So applying, as you can see here now, just by applying the rust effect, you can see as they get close up, when you look at the grill, where's my finger? On the outside, there it is here. So underneath my finger, now I've put heaps of the orange rust on there, but then I use the brush and just very lightly stroke down. So I'll try and get it close, but you can see now it looks like the rust has like flown out of the grill. So it's like the water's gone, it's just accumulated and then just run down. So, and then the same thing too when we're looking at the front panel. And you can see up here on the edge, like I've actually flared it into where I've rubbed back, because then as I clear coat it, the thinner stuff is going to disappear, but the thicker coat's going to become like a permanent extra. So that's what we've done here. And then just, and as you can see, like the paint that I haven't roughed back, I haven't put the orange over, because again, when you clear it, the rust orange will fade into the color, and that will leave the green to start to pop back out again. So it's again, I've seen it, the end of it, so I know what it's going to look like by applying this. For the viewers at home who are watching or doing this along with us, you're kind of going to have to take my word for it. But this is definitely a lengthy process, because you don't want to be in a rush to do it, but you want to make sure that the spread that you get, and you want to make sure that you can turn the front parts, and you can see here how it really looks like deep at this front corner here. Like you can see that it's like a core where it looks like it's actually gone into the metal, and that's the effect that you want to create. So cool. So if you're doing it with me, grab your brush, grab a coffee, grab a beverage, have a bit of a breather. It is a lengthy process, so I do encourage, don't try and do it all in one big go. Unless you're more experienced with it. Definitely do a quarter panel, take a break, have a breather, grab a coffee, do something, and then just come back. And obviously too, if this is your first time weathering, keep flipping back to those photos that you've got, your reference photos, because you will then get an idea of, oh, okay, I can see it's run from that panel, and it'll give you an idea. You're like, oh, I might just try fading it. And then again, once you put the flat clear, it will really bring that out to life. So, so what do you think, Bruce?
Mate, I'm just so impressed. I mean, like you said, with half this process that's gone on, I didn't even realise, and seeing this starting to pop now, mate, that is just unbelievable. Like that looks, to me, that looks real. Like like you're saying about those areas where you can see where the rust looks like it's well and truly getting into the parent metal. That's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward to seeing this finished, Matt.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. So all right, so we're going to get back into it, and I'll get this side and probably get a bit more of the bonnet done. But again, working for those of you who are doing it for the first time, again, start in the corner and follow the same path that you weathered, and then tell the story of that when it comes to the weathering. And as you can see here, like too, I've got it so it looks like it has been running down the guard, so running across the top running back down the guard, and we're going to really do some work here on the step to make it look like it's pooling in this corner, and that it's just sitting there and just chewed it right out. So
fantastic.
Awesome. Well, all right. Leave you guys with it. If you're just watching the video, we'll be back with you almost instantaneously. But for those who are doing it with us, have fun. And just remember, slow and steady wins the race.
That's exactly it. All righty.
Yep.
Let's go to the next step.
Awesome.
Well, it's just hit 4 o'clock now. I think we kicked off with this project at about 1 o'clock, and it's really coming together quite well. You can see it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get it right, but you can well and truly see how much difference it's going to make. Little areas there I'm sort of picturing in my head that's once it's finished and the clear goes down, it's just going to be absolutely unreal.
And and as Bruce said, like there's sections here that we'll show on the roof. Like it looks quite cloudy, and the effect like around the door, you can see there that like I've coloured like right out to here where the rub back finished in here. So there's like, you know, almost a centimetre or a centimetre and a half of extra weathering that I've put on it. Now when we apply the clear coat, a lot of that the thinner stuff is going to be dissolved by the clear coat, so it's going to disappear. So then you're going to get a natural gradual fade into the rust. So we are going quite thick, but again, so looking at it now, you can start to see the deep spots of like where the rust has been, and as we come through, like you can really start to see that, you know, you've got deep into deep into, like it's fading out, like it's really eaten into the core of it. And then and same around the roof as well. Again, as I said, like this is like you need to kind of flare around it so that you can allow for it to kind of like, you know, dissipate.
Sort of blend.
So still now working through. So we've done, like, you know, starting to do around the outside of the door and whatnot. So I've still got this rust spot here, and then I've got the step, the guards, and the little vent cap there, and then get over there and then get onto the bonnet as well, up to the air filter or the air intake, whatever it is up there. And so about 2 hours of weathering into this now, and we're nearly there. Still got a long way to go, because obviously once the weathering's done, then we've got to go and you know, like I guess all the other cosmetic effects that we're going to do, panel lining and all that kind of stuff as well, is
those
going to
highlights.
Yep, is going to be something that we're going to have to do as well. So we still got a couple of hours in it, I reckon, it's so it's going to be good. So So again, if you guys are doing this with me, you'll be sitting there thinking, far out, this, and it's like, yes, it is a big process, and this is why if you're going to go for a patinaed look and you're going to do it, you can do it properly. It is it is a time consuming. It's a 1 day, half a day painting, and then 24 hours of drying, and then you're probably looking at that, say, 4 to 6, 7 hour weathering process. So it's like it's a full day's job.
And obviously the more effort you put in, the better the job.
The better the reward is. So and then the cool thing is too, now Lighthouse, when I did that other blue 40 series for a customer, I've actually got that truck here with me, and Bruce has seen it in the flesh, and it's his jaw hit the floor. So the cool thing is we're going to sit this one beside the blue one that I've done, so you can see it's exactly the same brand of body, same accessory, same everything, but you'll see that the blue one is lightly patinaed, whereas this one is definitely been a lot more weathered, as you can see by how much weathering orange we've put on there. And so looking forward to having the side-by-side shot as well, and that's going to be super cool.
Absolutely, super cool.
Yep. So I'll keep going with this, and we'll see in a little bit.
Too easy. All right. So like Matt said, 4 hours in, or 5 hours in actually now, with the different processes. But having seen what's coming together so far, it's unbelievable. Really looking forward to the end result. This is going to be great. Let's so we'll get to that one. Well, we've reached ourselves to the next stage, and might I say, not understanding the process before I got to see what's happening, I am just in awe of what Matt's been able to achieve so far. He's just managed to get all of those wear places that you would think you would normally get on a four-wheel drive. He's managed to just cover it all and get it great. Now, in this situation here, for example, as I've been told, it looks quite dramatic and looks quite, you know, full on. But once the end process goes on, all of that apparently will be dulled down, and it'll, like the sections on the door there, you see the red right in the middle, that'll be sort of basically, apart from the green, fading to an undercoat, and then that'll be really the only main part that you'll see that'll have any main colour. So, yep, really well and truly looking forward to this one being finished off. I think we've got a couple of decals now and a few other bits and pieces, and then I think assume that it comes down to a few highlights and a few other little bits to make it just sort of pop. And then yeah, so we're getting there. It's a long process. The sun's going down. It's quite a few hours, but yeah, obviously you can see the end result. This is just going to be awesome. So we'll continue on with the next one, get to the next stage, and I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. I'm really getting excited now. And if you guys are at home following along with this and you're pausing and you're doing and pausing and you're doing, I'm hoping that you're just as excited as I am. So yep, really good. All right, so we'll get to the next stage and we'll see how we go.
All right, guys, cool. So, as Bruce has shown you, we finished the actual weathering of the body. So we've now, when I mean the weathering, so we've put the rust down, and the process that I did for just applying the rust on here, I'll put some more on here because I've just seen a little part that I want to add a little bit more to. So you kind of so what we're doing is we're like, and this is how I've done the whole car, is you're sitting there and you're literally just dabbing like that, and as you can see, the rub back stuff is now starting to disappear and the colors coming in. So the whole process of this car has been literally just little dabs like that, and you can see now from the little bit where I want to do more just here to where I've just been, you can see it's now a lot more distinct. Yep. In what we've done. So I'll quickly finish this one off. So the next stage for this is we're looking to now apply the clear coat. So what are the things we need to do before we put the clear coat on? Obviously, you know, getting the weathering, the weathering process done, but we want to, you need to think about stickers. So when you've got a nice patinaed body and you want to make it look all weathered and worn, do the stickers that you're going to apply, are you wanting them to look glossy and shiny? In this particular instance, no, we don't. We want them to look matte, worn, faded, that kind of thing. So we're going to put some of the stickers on now. So in this particular one, we're going to be putting the bonnet latches on. We're not going to worry about window surrounds or anything like that, but if you're going to fit door handles, some people will, some people won't. I'll leave it up to Bruce. Bruce, will we fit the door handles to this one?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So we're going to put the door handles on, so we'll get those stuck down, and as well, and obviously too, once we've got the stickers down, we're going to start I'll put the body aside for a second. We'll talk about the panel lines. So a lot of people, because we've taken a lot of detail out by heavy paint, we've then gone and accented the weathering by putting the Weathermaster kit on there. But as you can see now, like it's still quite a murky, still quite a bit of a rough look. So what we need to do then is to bring the body to life. Is we need to now make these panels pop to give them depth, but two, we want to start to distinguish what things actually are at a glance. So, oh, cool, that's the outline of the door, that's the window, that's the, you know, part of the roof and all that kind of stuff. So so stay tuned. We're going to get these stickers on and we'll be back with you real shortly.
Excellent.
All right, cool. So we've got, so the stickers we've put on this one, because again we're going to put the clear coat over the top to give it that matte finish. So like the ones like for the grills in the bottom and in the top, your clamps, like your little hold down clamps at the front, at the side, and just close up under light, so you can see. So you can see quite now with the light shining on it that that yeah, it is going to be if you were to sticker it after you've completed it, you're going to have a contrast in effect. So you're going to have glossy, clean stickers, and you're going to have a weathered, patinaed body. So you want to get them down, and again, if you can see as the light hits it, you can see the part of the body where I haven't sanded, which purposefully stayed away from the places where I'm going to apply these stickers, so that you don't have to worry about the stickers not sticking because they're touching the weathering powder and stuff. So we've got those on. Now this comes up to the individual. So what like the feedback I got from the blue one that I did was that a lot of people really liked the frosted window. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, give me 2 seconds. I happen to have the blue one right here because I've been adding some more stuff to it. So you can see on the front window now with the lights, you can see where the windscreen wipers were, where it's shiny. And I'll bring that closer to the camera so you can see, and then with the wipers on there as well, like they are the same profile the whole way across. So it does give it that dirty window look. Now this is just a personal preference. Some people still like the clean windows all the way across. Some people are still going to put the stickers around the windows or the masking and the stickers that give it that tinted look. Again, totally, this is all at your own discretion now, again, based on the photos and the look that you want to go for. So now, and Bruce, while you've seen this one in the flesh, what do you reckon?
Bloody lovely, mate. It was when I saw that would make me realise just what this green one was going to turn into, and that is just unbelievable. The rust, the appearance, it looks like my old man's Land Cruiser.
So, and you can see, putting them side by side, so this one here, we've gone for a lot more rust on the green one than we have on the blue one. So the blue one has definitely got rusty panels and rusty parts, but it's not as weathered and as worn as this one's going to be. This one's going to be, you know,
it's been out in the sun for a while.
It's been out. So now that we put that one back, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the windscreen wipers. So what you need for the windscreen wipers is a pen, which I've got here. All right. So and this is just a normal biro, so just your everyday pen. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit. So for those of you who have done the body before or haven't done it, you'll see that they're right here. So you got one there and you've got one there. The light shows this a lot easier. So they're the holes that you'll need to drill so you can put the screws in. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the windscreen wipers in their positions of where they will be. Now, obviously too, you need to be careful at this point because the powder and the weathering kit that we've put on it, being a powdery form, it is going to wipe off on your clothes. So you don't want to have it, you don't want to be manhandling this unnecessarily because you are going to lose some of your effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit the wiper in its position where it's going to be, and we line it up, and then we just put a little dot and this is the reason we kept the masking tape on. So we've got those two now, so you can see that I've just put well, you probably can't because of the glare, but I've got 2 dots here sitting here. So, and then when the windscreen wiper is completely all the way over, now I did say to Bruce that we were going to have the wiper go further than I did on the blue one, so it's going to overlap a little bit, so it's been again more realistic. So what we're going to do there is we're going to put another little dot, or if your pen's working fine, you can even just put a little line, and like this is next to no pressure because this is very flimsy and quite easy to move. And then from there, you're just going to, in increments, you're just, again, making sure you're on the hole, because if you're not on the hole, it's when the wipers are up and you've done it, it's just not going to look right. So we're going to, the next one is here. And then you can kind of start to piece together where all your little marks are going to be as well. Back on the line there, and then go over to there. All right, so for the first wiper, and the cool thing is you only need to use one of these wipers because they're both the same. So now, if you can see here on the window, you can see my line there, and then I've got a series of dots down here, and then I've got a series of dots starting there, working way down to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pen that in, and the reason we're penning it in is more just for reference. Now, again, you kind of just, this is just educated guessing, okay? Look, I'm not, I'm not out there with micrometers or anything crazy and measuring it. But if you put enough dots in, you will kind of get the gist as to the angle that this wiper is going to travel.
Yeah, it gives you a reference for like the arc sweep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bloody brilliant.
And then once we've done that, all right. So there we go. So we've got the first. So if we can see there, you've got the first one in. All right. So that's the first one. Going to repeat this process again for the second one. And the cool thing is, yes, they are going to overlap, and that's exactly what you want. So you want, again, you're holding, got to be careful because we are losing some of the rust on my shorts here. So we're going to hold that there so you can see your reference points here and there. And then what you're going to do is work your way up to your 90 degrees, which is going to be there. And then again, you're very lightly, now I am right-handed, so I'm just going to lightly try and get that to leave some kind of a line, which it has. And then we're going to here put a little dot there, there, and then to this point and that point. All right. So we've now got this one in. So again, we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to, so from here, let me just, because it was left-handed, didn't quite come out as distinct as I wanted. So I'm going to put that there. So that one's right. So from there, that's going to come up here. There's the hole. So about there in the center. There's another high point. There's in the middle. And there's at the end. So now we've got our other little curve that we're just going to pen that one in. From here. So we're just going to pen that just around. And then we're going to run this all the way up like that. So now you can see we've got our trajectory for, if we can get that in the right light, you can see our windscreen wipers. So then we're going to grab a nice sharp knife. Now I didn't have this one when I was out cutting the body the other day, but I just use, this is just a Stanley, it's a fat blade, it's a carbide blade as well, so they're very, very sharp. So you don't snap them off as easy. I think these are about 11 or 12 bucks from Bunnings, and then you just buy replacement cartridges. So we're going to, first of all, snap off so we get a nice clean edge, like so. So now we have a razor sharp tip, because this is another gentle process because we are cutting onto the clear Lexan. So this is not going to be covered by paint. So if you cut too rough and you score it, you're going to have now, like it's going to give you that weathered, this case you're wiping your windscreen with a wiper that has no blades.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is just commit, and we're going to very, very, almost with just the weight of the blade itself, or the knife, and that's the reason why I like this one, is because it is quite a heavy handle.
Yeah, a bit more control.
Yep, so you're just letting the knife do the work. Again, as you can see, using my middle finger for stability, because we really do not want this to slip. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can see on my shirt, being a grey shirt, but I am losing some of this rust off the back. So there, so you can see here, we're now starting to go back silver again. So again, touch up, and this is going to be the ongoing process. But we're going to, yeah, we'll go and get this done.
So with your cutting on that windscreen, like as long as you don't slip and perforate through, even if it has actually left a tiny mark, it's not going to matter, because that's the edge where the frosting will be compared to the clear.
That's it. So, and that's why you also want to like make sure that you do pay attention to your curvature lines of the wiper blades, because if you do happen to cut through and score the Lexan, you kind of want to make sure that it is going to marry up to I guess to the angles that your wipers are going to go. So we're nearly done with that one. Alright, so that's that one. The inside one. This inside one. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to peel the outside window mask off. And again, you want to be doing this one slowly, because you want to make sure that when we peel this off, that we are actually not peeling off the part we don't want to peel off. So for this particular, so you can see here now, as it's starting to come off, we are cutting along that straight edge, or peeling along that edge.
And this is also probably a good time to say, Matt, when you were talking about that blue masking tape that adheres and removes a bit easier, would that be a better quality type of tape to use?
Yeah, so for the inside, yeah, so the tape that I normally use is the frog tape from Bunnings, which is just the 1-inch green stuff. One of the customers in my shop, he put me onto it because it is a low tack, and I now use that for all my masking, because it comes off easy, but it leaves nice clean lines when you go to peel it off. Now, because we are doing the outside, it doesn't really matter, because we're using the original MST window masks. And the good thing is, as you can see, like, it's not leaving any glue at all. Wow. So it just comes off, you know, and you want to make sure that you are following that edge all the way along. And then we're just going to peel, so that's all that. And we've just got that little bit in here. Now for these little bits that you need to peel off at the bottom here, just to kind of give it that edge, we are going to have to use a blade to kind of get that one to come apart. Now the cool thing is, if you have done this right, like, you know, with windscreen wipers on a real car, that as the driver's side kind of overlaps the passenger side, you get that kind of little line as the water runs off. So if we've done this right, by the time we spray it, we should actually have, which is the knife scoring the Lexan, you should still have that line.
Just maybe that tiny little line. Yep, that finish point.
That's it. And I guess, like anything, when you're cutting away this, you're peeling away. So there's obviously a lot of contact area here. So you're starting where there's heavy contact going to that fine point. Don't start at the fine point, because you'll peel all that up. And then, so, because you may find that your lines don't quite perfectly match up, therefore you want to make sure, as you can see here, you got a nice sharp point for when you spray. And then we do the last little one, and then from here we're going to go back and then just double check all of the going to go back and check now all our rust. Make sure that the powder's where it needs to be, it's at the right thickness and texture.
Yeah, because naturally, obviously, with the process, you'd be knocking a little bit off.
Yep,
here and there.
we're rubbing it off. It's rubbing off onto my shirt, onto my fingers, onto my shorts.
Yeah.
So it is coming off everywhere. So we want to make sure that the amount that I am taking off is, I guess, an acceptable loss. Or if it's more, if we've rubbed off more than we need, then we're going to make sure that we put it all back on.
Yeah.
So that's the other part to this process. So we just peel this a little bit out now. Away it comes. That one. And again, don't be too worried if your fingers like kind of scuff, or you put little light pressure cuts on the, or grazes on the window, because we're going to frost that out. So it's not too much of an issue there. So there we go. So now we've got our trajectory marks. Like, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, it looks like the hungry caterpillar. But the good thing is, you know, it's going to come good. Now, having a look at the back, yes, I have taken a lot of silver here, rust down this section and across. In comparison, it is all over my shirt and all over my shorts. So we're going to quickly get our weathering kit back out. We're going to finish touching this one up, and then
we'll come back to the next stage.
Exactly. We'll see you in a sec.
Well, as you can see behind me, it's dark. Yep, we've been at it that long, but I'll tell you what, for what I've seen so far, this is just going to be amazing. Anyway, we're at almost the final stage for this section, and that's putting the final touches on. So we'll give that a go, and we're this close.
Cool. So now we're going to get the clear coat on. So here we go. So you'll notice as I'm spraying, you can start to see now how all the furry bits around the outside have all disappeared.
Yeah.
And this is where, and this is the reason why you want to go over, because you want to make sure that what you're actually spraying has and does have just enough of just enough coverage, so that as you apply your matte clear coat, it all just disappears.
You can just see it transform.
You can just, yeah, you can, and that's why in the videos when I was saying you want to add a little bit more, so you can see now all the rusty bits have gone a lot clearer, a lot cleaner. Everything has really kind of just been reduced back.
Yeah, look at that door. That's beautiful. And photos and videos, obviously, you never do it justice either.
No, it doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we get a nice even coat across the window, because we want to get that frosty look. And again, we've got so this is the reason we put the stickers down first. So we've got the stickers in, so the clear coat's going to obviously seal over the top of the stickers. It's not a very thick clear coat. Yep. So it's not going to it's not going to join over them, but it's going to become an adhesive sealant to stop the stickers. And the cool thing is, down the track, if the stickers do come off, like you have when you have stickers on a car for a long time and you peel them off and you've just got that faded outline, so it's still going to give it, it's going to continue to weather. Yeah. Which is a really, really cool thing. So again, with this, you want to make sure nice even coats. You don't want to go too heavy, too quick. You do want to let this cure, and you want to make sure you've got nice, full, even clear coats, because this is the breaking point of the body. So this stuff really smells. You're lucky these aren't smellogram videos, but what I'll do is I'll get my phone out as well, just so we've got two different lots of light, and you will see that the light that, or what the clear coat's actually doing too. So at the moment it's wet, so it's glossy, and you can see, but you can now see that all the rust that I've joined, it has like thickened.
Yep.
And you can see that that even on, if you go to this panel too, now you can see where like the rust in all the different areas, and you can see that it's now gone from a lot of colouring, and this is why the colouring process takes so long. It's because you want to thicken that up.
That really is amazing, Matt. That really is amazing. That whole, you can see the transformation as that frosted clear went on. That's unbelievable.
So it's you can start to see now, if you want to come around this side, and if you want to look down along the roof, you can start to see that matte finish now. So you can start to see,
I'm just getting the light in. Yep, there we go. I'm just getting it on the light there now. Yep.
So you can see the matte finish, and obviously too, there's still a lot more we could do with this. Like, you've got the clumps here of the weathering kit, which were left on there so that you get the clumps of rust kind of look.
Yep.
And then from there, you can then add all your different types of like you could get sand in a clear glue, and you could kind of clear coat this again and mix this, like sprinkle it, get like a misty bottle of water, put the sand on there, let it dry so the sand sticks there, put your clear coat over it, and then you've actually got
that rougher appearance,
rough kind of finish. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to leave this dry. We're going to tidy up the workbench work area, because it is now so it's 6 o'clock. So this has been a 5-hour process, and as I said, I've done this plenty of times. So it's the first couple I did was it's a 2 to 3 day process. Yeah. From cutting the body to, you know, and obviously too, from here we've now got to drill all the holes. We've got to put the accessories on. We've got to fit the rear bumper on. Then we've got to mount it to the car, and then we've got to make sure the car's weather proportionate to the patinaed body. And there's still a long way to go.
Yeah,
this is definitely not just a short-term process, but as you'll be able to see, this is definitely a very cool way to weather a Lexan body, and hopefully this process that we've been able to go through, myself and RC Fourbieman, that you'll be a bit more informed, enlightened, and be willing to give it a crack.
Yeah, that is fantastic. There's a bit of difference to just a normal paint job, but in saying that too, as you've shown, it's something that the average Joe Blow it's achievable. It really is. Yep, that's wonderful. Alrighty, so
well, let's start cleaning up, and we'll let that dry, so we're not going to leave any fingerprints in it. All right, cool. So we've cleaned up the work area. Everything's ready to go. So clear coat's dry, so we've now got a nice matte finish. Which is cool. So the body's come up, and I'll bring it closer to you. So you can see that in the videos before, how there was a lot of powder on it, but now, like, you can see that a lot of the powder's disappeared, and you've got that, like, obviously with being nighttime, we've got the lights on down, so you still have that, like, you know, that kind of a shine or a sheen on it. During the day, you're not going to have that. It's going to be a nice matte finish, but you can see, especially, like, this is probably my favorite little piece of rust right here. So you can see where it's really rubbed back. It fades into silver, back into the green, and there's that little tinge of goldy yellow as coming through. Again, this is nighttime, but like, there is just like so many places on this car to look for just weathered effect. It is very, very cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to unmask the car, so both inside and out, and we're going to see if, for one, what the clear coat has done with the frosting on the lens, and we're going to see more of the car as it's going to look when it's on the car. So so we'll start with the windows. We'll get them done. So just remember, we got the MST ones on the outside. Actually, sorry, I'm going to put that back on. Before I do that, what we're going to do is we're going to panel mark the body. So we've clear coated it. Now you can do this before or after. That really comes down to which way you want to go with it. So with the panel mark, there are so many ways you can do it. To me, I do the panel accent marker. It's kind of like in a nail polish jar. You put one drip on it and just runs all through the lines. Then you put another drip on. Then you get your isocol alcohol or your rubbing alcohol, wipe around the outsides of where it's like kind of spilled over. You can also go to places like Officeworks, and they do all the different art line pens. So, and you go from like a 0.1 of a mil to 0.9 of a mil to 1 mil. And I've got a ton of those. They're all different thicknesses. And you can also get them in almost any color you want. So that's another good option. So you can get variants of green, so that if you wanted to panel accent this and have like a darker green on the outside, you could do that. Now, even though you can still see a lot of detail, to really make these panels, like these door panels here, pop. So in the right light like that, you can see that's very distinguished. But when you're looking side on, you kind of like, it can just get a little bit lost in the rust patina weathered look.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as prominent like in the daytime.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So what I found to be the best looking, I guess, method of weather marking, like the patinaed body, is a pencil. Like just your standard made in, this one literally doesn't even say it's made in China, it just says China. So it's probably the cheapest of the cheap pencils. And that's what I used on the blue one. And the good thing is because it's the graphite color, and it's not a solid color or a solid line going in, you can sit there and you can, if you want to go darker and drop shadow, you can sit there and you can really color in the line to get a more of a depth to it, or you can go a light pass to get a lot of depth, so you can really work with it. So what we'll do is we'll take that's it there. All right, so I'm going to hold it up, so we're not going to move the camera. All right, now I'm just going to do around the door, and the reason I'm going to do around the door is because I want to show you that it's not very, and you can see as I'm doing it, like I'm kind of coloring in with it. And we're just going through. Now you've got options. You can do this before. You can do it before the body's clear coated. So before you put the matte clear on it, you can do it afterwards. Now I do it all over it. So I do it around the hinges. I do it all the way around the door linings, everything like that. And then just, you know, obviously too, you want to make sure you don't put big pencil lines across it and everything. Like, you still want it to look kind of classy. So we're going to just line that one in. And the good thing about it is too, because it's pencil, if you do put a line across it, you can just rub it off. But this is something you can do under your clear coat. Now, we have used a different clear coat to what I would normally use. I do like the Tamiya, the TS80 is the flat clear. Now the TS is it's the non-flexible one, so it's designed for hard bodies and more molded plastic kits. So obviously, if you're going to use the TS80 on a polycarb, you do have to be cautious that it could crack. So what we're going to, so having a look at this now, we're just going to get the last of these panel lines in. And we're painting, well, not painting, we're kind of drawing on all of the raised surface areas. So where parts of the door have been raised from the other parts of the door, not just the door sill, so not just where the door joins to the cab, we're doing all of it. And the reason we're doing all of it is because it's going to really define, and it's really going to pop all the different panels, and obviously too, in different lights, it is going to give, it is really going to give that depth. Now, the cool thing too is if you do happen to press down too hard, like I've just done on purpose, you're also going to add another rust spot. So the body, so with these patinaed looks, they are going to be forever changing, especially because we've painted and rusted it on the outside. So the as you take it out and you do crawl it, it is going to change its appearance, which is just a cool thing. So we've panel marked that. We're going to go around the outside of the door sill, and there's obviously too, there's a lot of different pencils you can use. You can use HBs, 2Bs, 1Bs. You can do like all different. So if you really want a nice, strong, distinguished line, then you can use, yeah, like your more darker pencils. So as you can see in this video, like I'm going around all the panels. So not just around the outside of the door.
And that way it'll highlight every single contour that comes with the original like door shape.
Exactly.
Like even around the door handle where you're going
Yep.
there now, it'll even help to just define that.
Yep.
Yep.
And because it's a non-aggressive line, like it's not a thick black line that's just going to make it look like it's just been stuck on the top of the door. It's because it is that graphite line, and it is, you know, and even things like just underneath the door handle, like you just color it in because it just adds, again, just that little bit of a gray to it.
Yeah.
And you can start to see. All right, so now when we look at it, even coming up close, you can see the door is a lot more defined. You can see that this line here coming up is a lot more defined. You can see that this panel is a lot more defined around the hinges specifically, like it really pops. But as the light changes, it's still green.
Yeah.
You can't see, you're not seeing a big thick black line. So if we look at that one as it is now, and then we go to this side, like you can just see that, like especially around the door hinges, if you use the door hinges as for your example,
yep.
So the door hinges on that side,
they're there,
but then when you come around to this side, you can like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's a real sharp, there is a door hinge, there's a
you
hinge.
can tell that
Yep.
now looks like there's a hinge there.
Yep, and then the same with this panel here that they mount the door handle onto as well. So you can see that, yep, that's there. We've colored in under the door handle, so it's given it that shadow. It's still green,
yep.
But it's just giving it that shadow. When we go back to this side, it's like you can see it, it's there. It's just not, it just doesn't quite pop as much.
Quite pop.
Yeah. So so that's just a personal preference for the patinaed look. Because again, you can, if you find that, oh look, it's too in the daylight, oh it's too grey. Well, most pencils have an eraser on the end of it, and you can just literally rub it back. If you do it before you put the clear coat on, it will adhere a lot better. But the cool thing is too that you've got the rubber, so you can sit there, you can draw it, you can color shadow like you literally like you would if you're like do any kind of drawing. You can sit there and you can kind of just like color in a little bit, and it'll work. So that's just my preferred method of doing the doors or doing the drop shadow. So again, so holding it like far back from the camera, you can look at the door and you can see like this part here where the door handle is to this side. It's like it's there, it's just not quite.
Yeah.
Like that's just that little bit sharper, like especially this bottom edge here.
Yeah.
Like you look from there to there, you can kind of see it's like, yeah, okay, that's a real distinct panel.
It's giving it that edge. Yeah.
But it's not black, it's not an accented line, it's just giving it that extra little bit of shade and depth.
Yeah, so, that shade and depth, that's it. Yep.
So so what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly rip around and we're going to panel line this whole thing, then peel the window mask off, and we'll be straight back with you. All right, cool. So we've lined everything in. So now, as you can see, like again, this is nighttime. It's just a fluoro tube, so it's really nowhere near as defined as it would be in the flesh or in the sunlight. But you can see that just by adding the graphite pencil, now it's really just made like just the little lines and just little distinct things like these raised sections, and across the front, like the hinges as well, like just making just these little raised bits pop just that little bit more. So even at night time, it's really got depth, so you're not getting lost in all the rust and color. So what we're going to do is we're now going to peel off our window masks, and we're going to see how good this clear coat, and even peeling that mask off, you can still smell the Tamiya paint from underneath it. So that's what, over nearly, well, it's not quite 36 hours, but it's there's a fair bit there.
Yeah, well, I had 2 hours under the heat lamps.
Yeah.
So
which is fine, definitely enough to bake it in. So now as we pull it off, and the cool thing is, like in between recording these videos as well, having a chat with RC Fourbieman here, we've decided we're probably going to collaborate a lot more in different areas of like just bringing tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff to you guys, the viewers. It's, you know, I've been in this industry for over 30 years. You know, there really is not many people in the hobby industry that have been around this long, that have been doing it. So definitely got a lot of knowledge, been doing this for a long time, and it's just something too that, you know, I just absolutely love. I love what I do. Like, I'm a hobbyist, 13 crawlers, 6 drift cars, a couple of off-road bashes, and some 1/5 stuff. So I'm well and truly into this myself, and I think that too is what I guess what makes a difference between your various hobby shops. All right, so we've got. I'll leave this one on to last because I just want to let that clear coat really just bake on, because when we peel this off, because there's going to be clear around it and clear over the top, I don't want to peel the clear off the matte finish. So as we peel the inside off, because it was just your basic 1 inch masking tape, now I'm kind of hoping that it's going to leave some tacky gluey residue in as it's reacted with the paint, so I can show you how to get that off without having to put heaps of chemicals unnecessarily onto the body. And as we go here and pull it off, so there's a little bit on the front. Now you may not be able to see it, so it's just up here in the corner, which is pretty common. So as you peel the tape off and your fingernail gets under it, you're kind of pushing the glue around. So what you do is grab the same piece you just peeled off, and like you do when you're trying to get blue tack off a wall, you just sit there and you just just like that, you just dab it on. And now this process will also work too, like if you happen to find some pretty cool older RC bodies, so like some of the GVs which used to do the Commodores and the Fords, and they were licensed to do Holdens. Now some of those bodies, they could be 20, 30 odd years old and still be clear. I've got a couple of them myself, and still haven't painted them. And when you do go to peel the masks off, because the window masks are that old, that you will leave the glue. Now I've tried plenty of different things like rubbing alcohol. I've tried different like nitro fuel. Now nitro fuel is really good for pulling paint off if you need to, and we'll do a video too on that. We'll get a body, we'll strip it back, and then we'll have a bit of a look and give it a rebirth. But as you can see, this stuff's actually coming off pretty good. So unfortunately I can't give you an example here of how to remove dodgy tape, but that's also, you know, as you can see, it's well and truly dark behind me. So we have been at this for, I don't even know what time it's probably getting close to 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
so probably at 6 o'clock. So about 6 hours or so.
Well, they do say time flies when you're having fun.
That's exactly right.
And believe it or not, I've been having fun.
Yeah, and Bruce has done heaps of work.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Nothing. No, it's really good. Bruce has been sitting here. He's
hang on, I did hand you the knife.
You
remember?
did. You handed me the knife, and you told me to sit here and say this when I tell you to. And so yeah, no, he's been really he's been really helpful, and I've learned a lot from him.
I've been trying.
So all right, we're just about to peel this last little bit off here. Now, with the masks on the inside, now it doesn't really matter if the window masks, if you kind of go over, so like there's your window, as you can see there, so it's come off nice and clear. If your mask on the outside goes to here, it doesn't really matter so much because we're painting on the outside. The only thing you got to be cautious of is that when you go and you drive this in the bush, rocks, wherever it is, and this does get scratched up even more, yes, it's going to look cool because you're going to scratch back through to different layers and it's going to continually change. But the thing is, if you do, the less paint you apply to around the window area, the more risk you've got. If you scratch it along here, you're just going to see now a nice clear line going through, and there's going to be, you know, lots of little touch-up jobs. So so we'll just get this last two out of the windows, and everything's looking good.
Yeah, it is.
And the cool thing is, you guys are going to see before. You guys are probably going to see it before I see it. Actually, the morning after, where Bruce will take this out. He'll put it in the sun, and you'll be able to see the actual matte finish through it. So you can see on the back windows and on the sides, we've done the gloss. I'll try and hold it up so you can see. That's probably a bit of a good angle here. So you can see if I get my finger up on the inside, you can see on this edge, inside edge here, you can see the copper that's from the outside paint. So you can see that I've gone as close to the window as I can, but I haven't gone all the way. So again, it's yeah, it's just one of those things, personal preference, try and get it as tidy. So I can already see now that the front windscreen looks absolutely ripper. So we're going to peel this off.
Here we go.
We're going to peel this off, and we're going to do it. And again, so we're peeling into. We're going to try and peel into the thick part of the sticker. We're not going to try and peel away towards the edge because we don't have a lot of matte clear on the window. So we don't want to peel it, and then because it's going to have that film going from the tape onto it, we don't want to peel that with it. Again, because this is the Duplicolor stuff, I've never used it myself before. So I want to make sure that I'm going to give it absolutely every chance to succeed at what it is being designed to do. But I know that, all right, so I didn't quite score it enough, but that's okay. It's still, there we go. So there is our frosted.
Look at that.
Windows. So so now when we do go and add no doubt Bruce is going to do some videos of him completing this, putting the accessories on, putting all the scale stuff on, like the 3D parts and whatnot. So so once you get the wipers on there, and you can see now that you've actually got the proper wiper pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is, again, so we'll just so you guys can see it as well. Like
that is absolutely brilliant, Matt. That is.
So it's just, yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of people would probably overlook, like just a little bit of a clear coat on the windows. Now, if you wanted to, we've just done the front with the windows. If you wanted to have it so that it looks like like, as we all know, when it's cold and you get condensation on the outside of your window, you quickly wind your windows down, then you wind them back up again, and then so you can kind of see out in the morning through the sun. Now, you could do the same thing by just shredding pieces of tape and put it on the side windows, and you could just clear the whole thing all the way around, or matte clear the whole thing all the way around, peel them all off, and you're going to get that look. Or you could, if you wanted to kind of create a very sporadic, like dirty window, like probably from, I don't know, 60 centimeters, 70 centimeters, just little stabs of paint, and just let it travel and soak onto it. And then you're going to get all your spots, and you're going to get cloudy gunk. There's so many things you can do as well. You can get different colored paints, and I think we'll do one, Bruce, where we're going to talk about how you create different splatter marks. So if you want to create something, instead of being patinaed, you could create something that's like brand new off the showroom, but it looks like it's just gone through.
It's been out for the last couple of hours.
Yeah, 3.5 meters of mud.
Yeah.
And so we'll do the whole creating mud, putting mud on the car, putting the flicks and stuff across, and giving it the old, the old baptism of mud. But the cool thing is, yeah, like these grills now have gone like a nice matte finish, the same as the body. The stickers on the that we put down for your bonnet latches and stuff, they've now got a nice matte covering. Again, the window, it is just such a simple concept, but it really does set apart the scales.
Yep.
And then you just, again, even if you drive, and instead of having the windows at the seated position, you could have it so at a show and shine, you could have the windows so they're all the way up, or halfway up, like you've literally turned the key off mid-stride or something like that.
And you're always going to pick up that impressive.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, if you want to create it look like it's been in water, like how to create a water effect. So as if you're getting a squeeze bottle with a mist, so that it creates the mist on the car. We will do that as well. We'll look at how we can create droplets of mist all over the car, so it's like literally just been driving through the rain. Yeah, there's so many things we can do, but we'll do definitely one at a time. We're going to peel our light buckets off the front, because the MST bodies have molded light buckets. So again, so here's a good example of, you can see the difference in the, if I can try and get it close to the camera, you can see the copper behind, so where the spray on the outside is nowhere near on the inside, so the inside has been masked up more than the outside. So again, it's the masking on the inside is not vital when it comes to how much you do or don't apply, but you just want to make sure you got all your windows covered. And whatnot. So we'll get this one off, and then we'll pull the front ones off. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this with all the accessories on it.
Oh yeah.
Like with all the MST molded bits.
Yep, the molded bits. There's the mirrors, the snorkel, windscreen wipers,
Bumpers.
yep, bumper bars.
Yep.
No, very impressive. Very.
So I'd say in between the cure time, what do we do? So it was 10, so it's about 4 hours of painting, like cutting, masking, painting.
Yep.
And then we were at, so it's nearly 7 o'clock, so we're at 6 hours. So it's about a 10-hour continuous. So if this was me doing it by myself, you can kind of now see the process involved with patinaing it, that it is 10 hours work time plus 24 hours cure time. So 34-hour build.
But so worth it.
And it also too, and then we're only at this point, we haven't even put the accessories on, we haven't fitted it to the car. Like the one we did was on a Hebeo, which was never designed to have an MST body on it. Same with the Traxxas TRX4s at 324mm wheelbase. Definitely not designed for the 313 the 45 series. So it's, there's definitely, it's just ongoing. So I'd probably say in total, I reckon another 15 hours of building, setting up, and just making the body sit right. And obviously too, you've got to put your Velcro or your magnets in here, and then work out your hinge point and lights and everything like that. So there's, so I'd say 50-hour build.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
and you guys have been able to come along for the journey. And so there we go. So what we'll do is, just to kind of give everyone a little bit of an idea, we'll take Miss Bluey here, and very carefully we will reach flip top head her, and then we will, haven't got the cutout for the battery tray, so it's going to be a
little bit high in the back.
A little bit high in the back and high in the front because it hasn't been cut down, but you're going to now kind of see that you've got your kind of your little pickup truck here. I'll just take that here just so I can look at myself better, and you can see that like with that kind of weathered effect. Come around the other side, shine down on here, so you can definitely see that that's just with all the rust and everything like that, it is just going to be a spectacular build.
It's just changed it. It's
has.
just unbelievable.
So let's just zoom that down.
Well, here we are at the end of a couple of beautiful sessions of work, and as we've seen, we've got an immensely awesome body. I've learned an immense lot, and I'm quite sure that you out there would have done it as well. Absolutely appreciate it, Matt. That's
Very welcome.
That's some awesome knowledge, and I'm absolutely rapt that you shared that. That's just really something. If you get onto someone that's got talent, it's just an important thing to learn. What I've just learned with this process alone is something. I've got a trip carrier at home, which I need to do some weathering at some point when I get to it. So got a bit more of an idea regarding that. Hard body, so that'll be a few little differences, but basically the same sort of concept.
The rub back process will be the same. The
same
painting
concept.
process on the outside will be the same. So you'll start with your copper, your silver, then your finish color, and
Yep.
And
No, well
that's obviously too. You got one thing with the hard bodies is you do have to be careful with your sanding, because you will actually start to sand the body away.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
You're not. It's like you don't just stop at the Lexan. I'm like with the hard body, you will sand into it, and then you'll get natural divots, grooves, and then obviously too, as you drive, like the cool thing is it'll start to look like some dents and some panel wear. But if you're kind of looking for something that's rusty, patinaed, but it's not,
But still straight.
it's straight. Yeah.
That's absolutely. Now, one of the most important things that I've learnt is I've been around the RC game for a little while now, a couple of years. I was into it when I was a young fellow and I had another play during. And then thankfully I got into rock crawling and its thing. One of the most important things that I could say is when it comes to a hobby shop and getting into your hobby, always make sure that the people that you're dealing with are people that are going to be knowledgeable enough and help you enough for further down the track if you don't know. What I mean by that is you buy something, it's great to buy it, but if something goes wrong, can they fix it? That's something
100%,
that we talked about before.
And that's something that I'm a huge advocate from. Like I've worked in other hobby shops, and I would encourage that. I guess you guys as the people on the listeners, like definitely not saying, oh, you need to come to Lighthouse and do this, but I'm like, because if we're not your local hobby shop, like I'm 100% advocate, support your local business.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and like keep the locals alive. Like, you know, there's enough chain businesses out there in all spectrums. We just want to, you know, support the guys that are there to support you.
That's right, yeah.
But regardless of what you buy from, who you buy it from, the first question and the most important question to ask is, can we fix it? So not just, you know, and I guess not just fix it to, oh, can we just put the same parts back into it, but can we fix it? Can we modify it? Can we make it stronger?
Can we upgrade?
Can we upgrade
Is there parts available?
You know, and hopefully the person behind the counter will be able to be like, yes, you can fix it. Yes, we can upgrade it. Another really important question, if you're going to support your local hobby shop or your local dealer, is will the local dealer fix it? You know, and I'm a parent myself, and that's something that, you know, like I've gone through the little pop-up stores around Christmas time, the ones in the middle of shopping centres, and my kids just like this really cheap crap RC thing that transforms and starts walking around, and my first question to the person is, when this breaks, what happens with it? Oh, you just go online, okay, cool, can I get oh no, you can't get it from me. So I don't want to buy it from you because there's no after-sales service.
That's right. There's no follow-up to help you if you come unstuck.
Exactly right. You know, and then it becomes my problem to get it fixed because my kid's screaming at me because they don't understand why it's broken. Like, you know, and I'm as the consumer, I'm like, well, I thought this is pretty decent money for what we're paying for. So it's like I want to make sure that I can protect my investments. So so I would definitely recommend support the local business and ask those three important questions: can we fix it? Can we repair it, and will you do the work? Yeah. Because you know, until you find your feet, not everyone can do this.
No. Well, it took me probably a good 12 months before I was even game enough to put a screwdriver in and start undoing things. I was sort of, but now I've had a bit of experience and a bit of time and the knowledge from my local guy, and it's just made playing with the cars, working on the cars so much easier when you can tap the knowledge right there, when you can tap the information and get the parts that you need without having to wait or mess around or try and work it out yourself. And so I couldn't stress that enough. Getting into the RC, it's a great thing, and just make sure that you got that aftermarket side of things or the after side of things sorted, so you got that support. And thankfully most of the way through I was lucky enough to find that sort of straight away. So like Yogi.
Yes. He's a good friend of mine. So Yogi's the hobby guy at Mr. Toys Morayfield. And I used to work at the Mr. Toys group before I opened up my own thing, and a lot of respect for the Mr. Toys hobby guys. Not every single Mr. Toys shop has a hobby guy, but there is definitely a few out there. So if they are your local shop, get amongst them, look after them.
And like Yogi was the first guy that I met when it come to getting back into the RC, and he went above and beyond. Just went above and beyond and made sure. There was one issue I had on one of them, forward was backwards, backwards was forwards. I didn't have a clue. I took it back down and he said, yeah, we can fix that. He fixed it, and there it was. If it wasn't for that support, I'd still be at home scratching my head, wondering how to make this, or I'd be out there driving it backwards and not enjoying myself. So, getting yourself that support from a...
Yeah, definitely.
It just makes all the difference. All the difference. Unbelievable. Well, there was a process to get to this point. I'm really looking forward to the next couple of challenges, which will be weathering the few little pieces that sort of go on. In some aspects with a weathered body, it's important when the bits go on, you can have it new parts, but it just doesn't sort of sit the same way. So thankfully I've got the easy task of doing the mirrors and the little things where I can just have a little play and get them weathered.
Which is the big thing too. And as I explained to Bruce, that you're going to put a brand new snorkel and a brand new wing mirror, a brand new bumper, brand new tray, brand new 3D accessories onto this weathered body. So the next job is now to weather those things.
Yep.
To make it look like it belongs to the same
It was there
body.
the whole time, right from where
That you haven't just you haven't just bought a patinaed body and chucked it on with all new accessories, because it's just not, it just won't look right.
No. But I'm certainly looking forward to that challenge, and watching this process now. I'd have to admit I was a little bit before, but I'm feeling quite confident in the aspects of those smaller pieces.
Yeah.
And going sort of like through this here now, I wouldn't have had that before, but I'd be willing to give that a go now.
Yeah.
You know. So the next time through, obviously this will be something that I'd go back to, and you can too. Come back and pause and go and pause.
Yeah.
And, yep.
And what we'll do is as these episodes come out on Facebook and the YouTube channel and stuff like that, we'll make sure that in the comments below we will leave timestamps, or we'll leave like at episode 1 at 3 minutes 45 seconds cutting out a body.
Yeah.
At 3 minutes 70 seconds. It doesn't happen. There's not 70 seconds in a minute.
Well, you could do it, but there's a lot of confused people out there.
Sit there backwards and forwards. Why it stops at 60?
Yeah, that's it. I can't find it.
No, that's it. So, so we probably won't use the 3 minutes and 70 seconds.
No, but we might go to 3 minutes 50.
Yeah. Start at 50 and just go forward until you get to the 70.
That's it. Yeah, it sounds like the plan.
So, very good.
Yeah. No, well, there's a little bit more to go. Obviously, by the time you start seeing these, you've already seen the first episode. By the time you've seen this episode here, well, then hopefully we will have already gotten that whole process finished up. So by the time it starts, you won't have to wait too long before the whole process is there for you to be able to scope out and follow through.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to seeing it finished, seeing it mounted. What chassis are you going to put on?
So this is going to go onto a TRX 4.
Ooh, so big wheelbase. So this is a good example of making a body not designed for a bigger wheelbase, not designed for a portal like a lockable diff 2-speed.
Yeah.
It's really not designed for this truck.
No, but I'm quite confident that it'll turn out.
I reckon you'll get it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we've got it's sort of set up with rock sliders. Yep. I've made a little bull bar for the front of it. We're just working out what we're doing with the tray now, because the tray's the same. If you've got a weathered body and you put a brand new tray on the back, it throws it a bit. However, I just happen to have a tray that's the same, that's been used a few times, and I think that's going to be perfect for the job.
Yeah,
so
be good.
Yeah. So when you're talking to me next, we'll have this sitting here with hopefully some weathered components that are fitted to it, and then I think the process after that will be after the fit up onto the actual chassis itself, and then with a little bit of luck after that, it might be taking her out for a drive and seeing how it looks in the sunlight.
Sounds good.
Yep. So, all right. Thanks for joining us so far with what we've done. It's been an eye-opener for me, and I'm quite sure it's been an eye-opener for some of you as well. So I've really appreciated the opportunity, Matt.
No, you're very welcome.
You're a bloody good bloke, and there's not many of us left.
No, that's true.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
so I'll see you in the next episode where we get to the next stage of the cruiser body.
And make sure too, that if you haven't done already, like and subscribe to RC Fourbieman on YouTube. I have done myself, and I love watching these videos from Bruce. Like, I love the quirky humour. I love the fact that it's it's simple talk.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting blown away with technical talk and jargons and over confusing topics. This stuff is just simple. Like, definitely going to work with Bruce as well. We're going to do some tips and tricks on crawling. So just like, approach angles, departure angles, ramp over angles, some side hilling, winching, recovery,
comparisons to two different types of things.
That's it. So we've got plenty of stuff to get locked in and organise some time to get it all done. So
so it's just a process now of going through. So all right.
Excellent.
Well, I've enjoyed this immensely. It's really broadened my mind. So all right, we're going to leave it at that for now, and whether this episode continues on with a little bit others, or whether this will be in the next episode, not sure at the moment, but you'll know anyway when the time comes.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay. As Matt said, don't forget to subscribe, press the like button. Absolutely. Leave anything in the comments if there's other things too that you're not sure about, and sort of between the pair of us, we're going to be able to nail this. So, yep.
Sounds
all right.
good.
Until next time, RC Fourbieman, and Lighthouse Matt RC from Matt. Hang on. Let's just woo. It's been a long day, guys.
Blooper
seriously.
reel. Here we
Okay,
go.
yeah,
Blooper
that's
reel.
going to the blooper reel. Okay,
Yep.
so from RC Fourbieman and Matt from Lighthouse RC, we'd like to thank you for joining us so far with what we've done.
Definitely. Hey everyone, Matt from Lighthouse RC here, and just with Bruce from RC Fourbieman. Now, just to give you an update of what's happening with Lighthouse RC. Now, we have obviously with the floods and stuff that wiped out our shop and our home, but we've done some deliberating, and we are producing our own line of scaled accessories. Now, for those of you who I guess know, like I guess what I do with crawling, a lot of my stuff is scaled, like hard bodies, pretty much like I haven't got, personally don't own a patinaed truck yet, but yeah, a lot of hard body stuff, a lot of stuff that's like really scaled, and I guess like everyone, we want to try and make these trucks look as real as we can make them.
Yeah.
So that when they're actually out on the trails, it just looks cool doing what it does. So so definitely stay tuned to the Lighthouse RC Facebook page. Also, if you want to check out on YouTube, we have got a YouTube channel. It's called Simply Scaled RC, and you can jump on there, like and subscribe. You'll see pictures of or videos of my Harley Quinn lowrider, the 64 that I did, my Alien vs Predator TRX4. Then I've got probably about another 7 or 8 trucks which I need to get on there. So I've got like my Hunger Games Jeep, and then I've got my Divergent Defender D90, but then I've also got my 2021 Bronco. I've got my Tacoma, which is the Element Night Runner, which I've scaled that one right up. What else have I got? I've got plenty of trucks. There's my Defender as well, which we'll go through that. That's a $3,000 crawler, so I'd love to sit down and unpack the electronics with people, so you can kind of see what goes into making a good crawler. And that's another thing that we'll do with RC Fourbieman, is we will actually look at viable upgrades. Like a lot of people, there's a lot of information about what to do to upgrade, like when it comes to electronics, when it comes to like especially low down weight. A lot of people, like that seems to be a lot of there's a lot of conversation around how to get the weight down low to reduce the rollovers and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
also weight placement. Yeah.
And I have seen in a lot of comments, a lot of people just the first thing that, just get brass portals, brass hubs, brass inners, brass outers, brass this, brass that, brass everything. Gonna kind of stop everyone there, and there's a lot more to it than just putting weight in. First of all, you need to realize work out, and you need to understand the science behind why is it tipping over. Is it the way you drive? Is it the way is it what you're trying to get the truck to achieve? Which, if the truck may not just be built to do what you want it to do, so therefore you've either got to rebuild the truck, or you've got to buy a truck for a specific purpose.
That's it, go for something else that'll do what you want.
Yep, and with all my trucks, like there's about 13 of them now, they all do a specific job.
Yep.
There's one for each purpose, and like if I take the wrong truck to the wrong location, I'm only going to destroy my truck.
Yep.
And
like a water location, you take something that's a trail runner to a water location, and
that's it. And you end up buying yourself a new set of electrics. So I've got trucks that are designed specifically to, as you've seen in videos of Budrum waterfalls, dropping them off a waterfall 6 foot deep into water, pick them back up, and just drive for the rest of the day. Like they're just designed They're designed to be submersible. Then I've got trail trucks, I've got crawlers, I've got like my Mog, which is just designed to just do what Mogs do and go everywhere.
I was about to say, that's a bit of everything, though.
It really is. It's a great truck, that one. So we're definitely going to sit there and really address some topics. So a great thing too for the people who do jump into Simply Scaled RC or RC Fourbieman on YouTube. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us address some issues. Again, I've been doing this for 30 odd years. Do I know everything? 100% no. No. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. If I don't know, I'll try and find out for you.
And you'll probably try and find someone who does know, which is what you've done before.
And we'll definitely, we've definitely got a lot of hookups in the crawler scenes, not just here in Australia, but over through New Zealand. over in the States as well. There's a lot of people that I know through the crawler industry that, yeah, we can kind of all sit there and just fire questions backwards and forwards. So, so definitely tune in, definitely subscribe, definitely leave your likes and comments in the comment section below. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
To see what it is that you want us to address. Personally, we'll just try and keep it, you know, RC related. I'm not really qualified to talk about anything else.
No, I'm pretty well, yeah, sort of on the same thing.
Yeah, so if you chuck a comment in, it's something to do with your marriage, probably can't help you there.
Yeah, or the advice we give might not be the best, you know. See, there is that old joke they say, if your wife's angry with you, buy a new rock crawler, because she'll still be angry with you, but you'll have a new rock crawler. So if that sort of advice is the right thing, you can ask us, but yeah, no, probably not.
No, I probably wouldn't do that, but unless your wife's remote control.
Hey, and that's probably for another video.
I'll have to stop that there, because let's just leave that well alone.
That can that can go down a direction that we may not want it to go.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, sounds good. So yeah, so from Matt from Lighthouse RC
and Bruce from RC Fourbieman, which is RC Fourbieman. See, I still stuff that. Okay,
yeah,
so
cool. All right, so Matt from Lighthouse RC.
RC Fourbieman from RC Fourbieman. That's it. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next one.
Catch you guys.